Hey, what's good, y'all? What's good? It's C Will here on the Passive Income Network. And on today's live stream, we about to be going in. There's been some exciting developments happening in the blockchain space. We're going to talk about all of that. And then obviously, Algorand has been getting in the spotlight a lot lately. So that's what we're going to talk about. So today's title, first Google, now Coinbase is recognizing Algorand. As you join this stream, type ALGO in the chat, AGLO. Otherwise, say what's good. So today, again, we got some good stuff to talk about. It's been very interesting in the blockchain space recently. You know, we have the SEC saying what is a commodity, what is a security, a clear interpretation. Obviously, Algorand was mentioned there, footnote 51 on their main document. And then you got the Clarity Act. It's real close. Brian Armstrong, all you banks, push it through. Let's get it through. Okay, we got that. We got the Genius Act that passed, obviously. Stable coins on the rise, transactions, microtransactions, all of that is happening. And it's been very exciting. And obviously, as a cryptocurrency holder, as a participant, you want to be making some money. You want to see your favorite blockchain get highlighted, get spotlighted by other industry players. So let's get to it. Coinbase cites Algorand as one of the first and only blockchains with post-quantum security. Does that sound familiar, y'all? Does that sound familiar? So here it is. Algorand is among the first blockchain platforms to deploy post-quantum secure signature schemes in production across both consensus-related mechanisms and the execution layer, following a staged roadmap towards full quantum readiness. Remember former CTO John Allen Woods, shout out to him over at Nillion. He was always talking about these type of things. So I know he had a hand and a role in this development. Shout out to John Woods. At the transaction and execution layers, Algorand already provides the cryptographic tools necessary to support quantum resistant accounts. The network recently executed its first post-quantum transaction on mainnet using FNDSA integrating. And then it goes into a little bit more technical here. So this is the longer story here. We have Coinbase Quantum Advisory Council publishes position paper on quantum computing and blockchain. So this makes the crowd goes crazy here. So the bottom line, your crypto is safe today, but the industry needs to start preparing. And as you scroll further down, talks about what's actually at risk and what isn't. And this is where a lot of people do get confused. I had someone in the comments talking about they've been working on quantum computers for 40 years. Nothing's happening. I'm like, listen, with the rise of AI, we see Anthropic, we see Perplexity, we see OpenAI, we see all of these companies, these data centers. Google has created the Willow chip for quantum computing. NVIDIA is cooking every single day, semiconductor industry. Anything is possible, y'all. Skynet may be close by. Who knows? Who knows? But what I do know is this. Let's keep going. Not all of crypto is equally exposed. Bitcoin's core infrastructure is largely safe. Bitcoin mining, hash functions, and the chain's historical record are not meaningfully threatened by quantum computing. The real vulnerability is wallet level. That makes sense. The cryptography that proves you own your assets, your digital signature, is a part of a quantum computer could eventually break. So the wallet infrastructure. Wallets where certain key information is publicly visible on chain are the most exposed. For Bitcoin, an estimated 6.9 million Bitcoin fall into this category. It's a big chunk. It's like, good third, right? Proof of stake chains have additional exposure in the signature schemes validators use to secure the network. Ethereum has a clear roadmap to address this in the future. So they're saying it's the wallet signatures. It's that public information that could be dangerous. Now let's keep going. Solutions exist. Deployment is the challenge. So they talk about the solutions. Major blockchains are moving at different speeds. Listen, obviously. So here we go. Bitcoin is exploring new address formats that better protect keys, though the community hasn't committed to a full upgrade plan yet. Makes sense. Ethereum has published a detailed migration roadmap that could actually improve network scalability in the process. Solana, okay, Algorand, okay, and Aptos have each begun offering or planning quantum resistant options for users. Layer 2 networks like Optimism have announced transition plans. So the paper reviews each chain's approach in detail. So, I'm not even sharing my screen with y'all. So obviously, Algorand here being mentioned, we already know much about this here based on the Google document. So Algorand, Solana, Aptos, they're offering plans, and we know Algorand Foundation works with Parawallet to integrate all the new technologies. They just released the update on shared wallets and whatnot. So Coinbase says they're making stuff happen too. We established this advisory board to make sure our security strategy is driven by science, not headlines. So again, seeing Algorand mentioned on there is like it's pretty smart, you know, definitely pretty smart to recognize it, because that's what Google's seeing too. We're gonna show you that in a second. Let me just hop and skip over there. Again, so y'all, I showed y'all this maybe 2 weeks ago. Google's quantum paper cites Algorand more than any blockchain outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Coinbase also is like, hey, we got vulnerabilities on the wallet layer. Most of the history of the Bitcoin blockchain should be good. Ethereum's working on some things. And then Google, again, cited it. And then you can see it closer here in this highlighted region and throughout this paper. And what they talk about here is the Falcon signatures, the keys, like that stuff that John Allen Woods was talking about. Essentially, this blockchain was already prepared for it. And they have already executed a post-quantum secure transaction in 2025. It is 2026. They already did that last year. They've been preparing, and it's only going to get better. So Coinbase is also seeing the same exact thing. And the more that these big institutions, these Fortune 500 companies bring this up, the more attention and eyes, which is on Algorand. First Google, now Coinbase. Who is going to be next? And what I think of interesting about Coinbase is this platform here, Agentic Market, thousands of services, zero API keys, powered by X402. So, you know, in 1989, the X402 HTTP protocol was established. However, they haven't used it until now. And you can see here, you got services leaderboards, Anthropic, X, Banker, you got Google Flights, OpenAI, a lot of AI-based infrastructure, social, mostly infrastructure, learning language models. And Algorand, obviously, is part of the Coinbase and Google's X402 platform right here, protocol. So you have data being sold, information being sold, millions of buyers, billions of sellers. Some of them are humans, some of them are the machines, right? Unique sellers, unique buyers. There's actually more buyers than sellers. All right, so there's a demand there. One day total payment volume, 17 million. This is data. So an AI agent is going around here buying data. Let's say data for crypto prices, stock prices, weather, different type of markets. So that's what's happening. And then Mark here also highlights this here, micropayments. This is a micropayments being received from someone's Parawallet for X402 services. Algorand has positioned themselves everywhere right now. It's very exciting. That's what you want to see. And I know more developments are going to be happening, so I'm definitely going to keep y'all updated. And let's get some of these news right here. Fred Asante, shout out to Fred. He does these your weekly Algorand ecosystem roundup, and let's go through some of these. So ALGO Barat takes over Hacktropia 2026 at the engineering college. Out in India, Algorand has been making waves there for many years now. I remember in 2002 in like Dubai, they were talking about this. It's been some years now, 3.5 years straight of some real work. And I'm excited to see what's gonna develop from this. I know it's gonna be all kind of systems. Not everything is DeFi, not everything is for the regular user market. Some of it's institutional and government based, and you need a mixture of both. And I thought this one was interesting. Algo Dev launches the X402 Algorand tutorial page. Oh, by the way, this is Sarah Jane. Shout out to Sarah Jane. Algo Found and Algo Devs, you can now view the X402 Algorand page and developer portal page. It includes a tutorial for client side and resource server setup so agents can transact using Go Plausible as the facilitator. Go Plausible been cooking. I may have to get an interview with Go Plausible or some type of deep dive. I haven't talked to them in a while, but they stay developing and building for the ecosystem. That's the type of builders we need on the chain. So yeah, X402, and I just talked about that with the whole Coinbase, Google, Algorand integrations there. All right, and then Fred goes into Parawallet integrates Coinbase on-ramp via Real Meld. US users, we have another one for you. Coinbase is now integrated through Real Meld for better rates on your ramp experience. It's much better to buy from Coinbase than some random platform, but hey, that's not too bad. About 4% right there. Then we have Algorand drops a World Quantum Day interview with Stacy and Chris Piker. Let's tap into this a little.
Thrilled to have with me Chris Pikert, who is our Chief Scientific Officer. More importantly, perhaps, he is a professor at the University of Michigan working on cryptography, and he is one of the leading lights in post-quantum cryptography. So we are going to learn what that is and how Algorand can be best prepared to address the quantum threat. So I have a lot of questions that we put together and a lot of questions that you all gave us on Twitter as well. So we're going to try to get through all of these, but also make sure that we give Chris enough time to really, kind of dig into some of these answers. So are you strapped in, Chris? You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go. It's good to be with you.
Okay, great. All right. So let me ask you sort of, how did you get interested in cryptography? Like, I'm guessing as a kid, you're probably good at math already. Like, you sort of knew maybe I'm going to be more mathy, sciencey than I'm going to be like poetry, English. I'm sort of guessing. But then you get to a place like MIT, right? And you are, how do you find your way? It's not like the most obvious field of study.
Yeah, you guessed right. I was kind of a math nerd.
Let me fast
kid,
forward a little
guilty
bit.
as
We're not going to
charged.
go through this whole thing. I just wanted to put this on the
Some
radar.
basic
This is one of the
mathematical
guys
assumption to it's definitely
that is
engineering
responsible
trade-offs here and
for what's
efficiency
happening with the
considerations that
quantum.
have to be carefully
Okay.
managed. Falcon signatures are significantly larger than elliptic curve signatures by a factor of about 10x or something.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
10 times bigger, right? So
Right.
definitely significantly bigger. There are some pluses as well. They're actually much faster to verify. So in cryptocurrencies, you have a lot of signatures, and validators have to check the validity of many signatures. It's actually faster with Falcon and post quantum signatures of that type. So there are trade-offs, but in the blockchain space, block size is at a premium, right? The Bitcoin, they have these huge holy wars over like how big of a block we can have and how what we put into it and what we keep off chain and so forth. And so it's a very scarce resource.
Right.
And so in addition with like network traffic and all the other network resources, you have to be careful about you can't just throw around lots and lots of Falcon signatures and willy-nilly because they get too big. And so it's a
Do they
tough engineering
accumulate?
challenge.
Is it a cumulative issue as well, or no?
All right, let's pause that. So Stacy trying to understand there. We all trying to understand. This is why it's a whole hour video here. So if y'all watch the whole thing, let me know. I'm gonna dive into it more later. But I just wanted to show you a few clips. This guy, Chris here, Pikert, right? He's the one that that they just highlighted a few weeks ago about him being part of Foundation, him being one of the main developers for that post-quantum technologies, obviously at, I think she said, the University of Michigan, right? And if you look in his background, let me make it bigger for y'all. You can tell he's been back there working. When you got a whiteboard and the Sharpie with a whole bunch of codes, you know you're that guy. So that's good. So we'll follow up more about his work, and then, but obviously, they're the one. He's one of the people that's cited in the Google paper, and obviously, Coinbase is paying attention as well. All right, let's see what we got. So next thing we about to do is finish up one of these. Let me put this one back on your radar. This is for my DeFi yield farmers here. Talked to y'all about this on Tuesday, but some of y'all didn't catch it. Be careful on Aave right now. The wrap stake ETH markets on Aave V3 and V4 have been frozen. Aave's contracts have not been exploited, and this isn't an exploit rated to the wrap staked ETH. So a little confusing. They said they have not been exploited, but some of their contracts related to the ETH have been exploited. A little confusing, but it's part of the Kelp DAO wrap stake ETH bridge. So essentially, me personally, that's why I like to stay away from the DAOs, what they call decentralized autonomous organizations. I like to stay away from the bridges. If you can get the real thing, it's much better. Aave is usually a solid platform, but obviously something has happened that y'all need to be paying attention to. And then we have Arbitrum, pretty much saying the same thing. The Arbitrum Security Council has taken an emergency action to freeze over, see you later, 30,000 ETH being held in the address on Arbitrum 1 that is connected to the Kelp DAO exploit. Again, Kelp DAO, DAOs in general, wrapped, staked ETH, that's just a lot of layers on layers. If you're going to get with ETH, touch the real ETH, right? Stake it yourself, maybe on a platform. Go Coinbase ETH. That's more secure. So I just want to put that on your radar because people been making crazy videos about this and not really giving the information. Let's just make it plain and simple. Now, back to Algorand here, okay, before we slowly start to wrap things up. We got this interesting development. So Allbridge, okay? Allbridge is a simple, modern, and reliable way to transfer assets between blockchains. And me personally, like I said, I don't bridge much, but if I do, I just mentioned Base. I like Base, and I like Algorand. So seeing these two together makes me more comfortable, okay? Over 1 million in USDC has now been bridged to and from Algorand via Allbridge. Base to Algorand was the most popular route in March, okay? Real liquidity moving across chains. And look out, there should be some more videos and stuff about Allbridge dropping. But again, Base, pay attention to Base. They're connected to Coinbase. That's kind of a no-brainer. And Algorand, who's being mentioned by Coinbase. These are some of the blockchains I like to talk about, along with a few others, not many. And you just got to make sure that you're using the proper tools so that way you don't get hacked, okay? So you do not get hacked or lose your funds bridging it. Because y'all seen what happened with Opolis, right? Y'all seen what happened with Opolis? Remember Opolis, the music platform? Let me go to Lee Parsons. Remember they moved to Arbitrum? So they just said a bridge situation made them have to shut down. Okay. I thought this was interesting. After recent exploit, we moved liquidity from the Messina bridge as a protective measure. This left some bridge transactions stuck and unable to complete. We now send all pending Opal tokens back to the affected wallets on Arbitrum. If this affected you, check your wallet, your tokens are there. I don't know what's going on, right? They talk about what happened, what they did immediately. Let me scroll down. What happens next? Opolis will begin an orderly wind down. You know what that means, right? I remember I held one of these NFTs. They're done, basically. And Lee Parsons, he's saying he's sorry and stuff. Yeah, I remember Opolis. And if you look at this right here too, you know, home of real world assets for music on blockchain. Unlock the music industry with AI driven. Nah, they changed a lot of their rules. They reneged and canceled things that they said they were going to do. And I was an early, you know, participant in Opolis. And now they're shutting down. And they're pretty much blaming this Messina bridge hack. One exploit, and they done. Again, watch out for these bridges. Watch out for the you know, cross chain is fine, but if you just jump in chain to chain because of your business model or something, be cautious. You drop in multiple tokens, jumping around, be cautious. Bullish, yes, definitely bullish. Timothy Garrison 7636, definitely bullish. Algorand, definitely bullish. What do you think future of Algorand? Well, I think it's bright. It's getting the Algorand Foundation, right? Algorand Foundation can do now for-profit activities. Algorand Foundation has merged with Algorand Technologies, protocol development, ecosystem growth under one roof. Okay. X402 partnership, Google, Coinbase. Google and Coinbase both recognizing Algorand. The chain hasn't went down. The chain has only been up. Okay. You have, let me pull this up. The development teams has been cooking. I'm bullish. That's my answer. I think it's like really in the right direction. You know what I mean? And when you go look at something like this here as well, March was another strong month of growth for the Algorand ecosystem. Wallet transactions, smart contracts, new assets, and the stablecoin market cap all increased. We hit a milestone, they say, with over 140,000 post-quantum state-proof transactions all time on Algorand. I think this is good. As a longtime supporter for many years, since 2021, I'm still here. Wallets up 22%. Okay. That's user activity. You got transactions up 1.1%. Smart contracts, which is builder momentum continued, right? Up 34%. New assets up 53%. Stablecoin market up 26%. State proofs up 140K, which is those now 140K state proof transactions generated since launch, securing the network's history against future quantum threats. I think it's good. I'm really hyped. It feels like it's 2021 again, y'all. Am I right? Same reason you just said. Exactly. Exactly. Gemini loves Algorand. I know. That's good. How many different wallets are on Algorand? The main wallet is Parrot Wallet, which is basically partially owned and developed with Algorand Foundation. So that's definitely the go-to one I've been using damn near since it came out. You got DeFi Wallet, right? I believe there's Daffy Wallet. There's a few more, but obviously Parawallet is the go-to wallet. That's the one that I'm gonna say go for that one. And then you have like Base got the Coinbase wallet, right? Hashpack wallet for Hedera. Like every blockchain usually got one main wallet, but of course you can hold algos. You can use Exodus wallet, right? There's a few other wallets for Algorand, but I always say Parawallet. Thank you for the explanation. No doubt, no doubt. Baron, I don't catch all the names, but thank you, Baron. Right. By the way, I joined live from Turkey. Hey, shout out to Turkey. Turkey in the building. Instaball is in Turkey, right? I always wanted to go there. Big shout out to Turkey. Y'all got great history. All right. I pray to God Algorand could succeed. My average price is way too high. Well, hey, this is not financial advice, but you can always average down. You can build a liquidity pool position, earn some yield. You can run a node. I use Valar, earn about 4.5% or something like that. And it has actually brought my average cost down as well. And then obviously you can just hold. Not financial advice, but there's a few things that I've been doing. Definitely liquidity pools and running a node with Valar has been great. Those are some of the things that I think could help out a portfolio that's a little bit under the water. And obviously, we are in cryptocurrency, a very volatile industry. So we got to be mindful of that. We have to. Anything can happen. Nothing is guaranteed, even in the stock market. However, it's been very exciting. And, you gotta be a savvy investor regardless. Am I right? Huh? But things are good. Things are good. Let's see. Final question. In the bull market, 10 years from now, could Algorand reach $10 or higher? Man, I wish I had that type of foresight. So tough question to answer. What I do know is this. What's your risk tolerance? Are you willing to wait 10 years? Are you diversified? That's my question. For me, I like to buy stocks, like ETFs, index funds. I like to have a position in crypto. I've been in the Algorand ecosystem holding for 5 years. I can wait another 5 or 10. I'm not really tripping at this point. So that's my answer there. Possibly. Bitcoin did something crazy. Every blockchain crypto has a different niche. But those are the questions I would think about. What's my risk tolerance? Am I diversified with assets like gold, ETFs, index funds, real estate? Am I diversified in my crypto holdings? Am I willing to wait? What if it doesn't reach 10? Will I be all right? Those are the questions I would ask myself. I want to average down. I'm just scared, honestly. Staying safe and stacking Bitcoin. I respect that too. We got to recognize the fears that we do have in this space and be okay with the outcome. All right. And I think that's all good. All right. So any more questions? Okay. What's up? That's my baby over there. What's up? All right. So this question, Parawallet has special compassion tool. When I downloaded the Parawallet, downloaded in a fraction of a second. I never downloaded anything like that before or after Gemini. Parawallet has special, is a compression tool. When I downloaded the wallet, I have an iPhone, so I use the App Store, but I know Google Play is legit. Parawallet, yeah, no issues for all the years I've used it. I was even around where the ALGO situation happened. No issues for me. Big shout out to Parawallet team. Shout out to Loaf Pickle. Shout out to Loaf Pickle. All right. What we got? I wanted to check these too. Any more questions, y'all? Any more questions? So let's check this market real quick before I head out. So the total crypto market cap, 2.59 trillion, almost at 2.6. Fear and greed at 59. We almost into greed. Damn, it happened fast. We almost into greed. We was in greed yesterday. Average RSI at 48. So we want to really though, for us to run, we need to be in greed, and the RSI need to be above 50. And the market cap need to be above really 2.7 trillion. And then we getting somewhere. Bitcoin rejected about 80K, 79,000. Ethereum at 23. I like it. XRP $1.43, still sitting still, 85. When things move, they can move fast. Dogecoin, Hyperliquid is crazy that it's way up there in my opinion. Market is looking good. Stellar Lumen, 17 cents. Chainlink, 9 cents. Cardano, Monero, Zcash, Sweet, Hedera. I think personally, I think we might have found the bottom. We could get a little pullback, but I think we found the bottom. And that's my personal opinion there. I think we found the bottom. Let me pull this up for y'all, and then we about to head out. Where we at? So this is what I like to pay attention to here. Where we at? Boom. So I drew this line here. This line corresponds to the bottom in April 2025, and then the tops of 2024. So this is the support and resistance level that we really need to be paying attention to. I am on the weekly chart, and this is the total crypto market cap. You see, we spiked here in October 2025. We hit a wall here in 26. We have a big cross here in the RSI, or excuse me, MACD. And last time we had that cross was about August of 2024. Then we had another one in May of 25. Each time we had a nice rise. I think if we can, again, why I said 2.7 trillion is about here where I got a line at. If we can successfully clear 2.7 trillion, or even run in this range right here, which would be like, doing something like this, and then I think we're off to the races. That's what I'm looking for, and that could mean we back to a bullish season for crypto. That's what I got for y'all today. Appreciate all y'all questions, comments. If you like what we talked about in today's live stream, type ALGO in the chat, hit me in the comments, hit me in the DMs. I'll be back with y'all, if not this weekend, next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays around the same time. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Type ALGO in the chat. Nice stream today, y'all. Till the next time, y'all.
Passive income, gold in my dental, thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals, told my girl it was simple.